Let me introduce you to our guest, Miss Supriya.
Today the social media has exploded, everybody knows everything, but what is the correct information? There has to be some source which gives them the correct information. Education is something which can really make your life. A lot of people, they know if they don't want the life they're currently living in, they have to get themselves educated.
I think one of the things that always that keeps coming back in whatever interviews I take is the fact of a woman being successful because they had a great childhood.
What I say to the girls, be self-sufficient, but what I say to the boys also, be self-sufficient. Do not be dependent upon any woman, whether it is a mother or a sister or a wife, for cooking your food, nor all the situations and circumstances and the people in our life. But you have to make your own situations and circumstances, and you have to keep striving ahead. Success will come to you if you are hardworking and honest.
Hello everyone. Let's welcome Supriya to #FemPower, our next woman achiever. #FemPower is about interviewing women who have gone against all odds to achieve in their lives, and they act as catalysts for other women who would also love to have it all. I'm Rajat, your host, and I'm the author of the book Women, Beware of the Freaking Plot Hole. If you've not read it already, please go ahead and read it and leave your feedbacks after you have done that. The book is available on Kindle. And with that, let me introduce you to our guest, Miss Supriya, who is the Vice President of International Affairs in one of the largest universities of India, the Dayanand Sagar University. And she's got an amazing presence. I was impressed with her the first time I met her, and this interview was just waiting to happen. So welcome to the show, Supriya.
Thank you, Rajat. You're so kind, and thank you everyone for being here and listening to us. I want to read that book. What did you say the name is?
Women, Beware of the Freaking Plot Hole.
Okay, the interview is reversed. Can you tell me what the book is all about?
Oh my god. So this book is about, so I'm doing a research on women's economic freedom, and this book is actually part of my research. So I wanted to write, I love to write funny things, so I didn't just want to stick to, in fact I wanted to write a book, and that's how the research started.
Oh.
So this book is like a prelude to my final research, and it's about how I read from other authors how women's history would have been shaped, and it's a little bit of a funny take on women's situation in today's time, and from historical point of view till today.
And by the word beware?
Beware of the freaking plot hole. Beware of the freaking plot hole comes from actually Gerda Lerner's research on women's history. So she says that a lot of history was written only from men's perspective. So we never got to know how women have contributed to history. Although if you look at it, 50% of population has always been women. So it is impossible that women would not have contributed to history. In fact, if you look at your world just around you, children, they grow up in the tutelage of their mothers. So the greatest contribution to the civilization is of the mother, because they are the ones who teach their children the first lessons of civilization, right? So it is impossible that women did not make contributions to the civilization. In fact, it's just the opposite. And this is what Gerda Lerner went out to explore. And when I learned about that, I thought that this is a plot hole. You know, there's a story, and the story is half. So they've left out plots from the real story, and they've only focused on what they liked.
So this is a very interesting perspective, because I never thought about it like this. How the whole narrative has been defined by patriarchs, Although I've got nothing against it, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I respect history and all that we have learned from history. But if you look at some very leading figures, history has been defined through them and by them. If you look at Hitler, he was the mastermind and he was the master patriarch, if I can say.
Yeah.
He had the world, he was literally leading so many people. In fact, I'm very fascinated by the man. So,
Oh, you are? I'm not.
see, fascinated in the sense that I want to understand what power he had that over people that he could make them commit such atrocities. He's
So, yeah.
responsible for killing millions.
Yeah,
10
so he
millions.
actually convinced people in times of depression that because there was a limited resource, someone had to come up as
Someone had to take the
deserving.
blame.
No, someone had to come up as deserving for that resource, and
Okay.
someone had to be
Deprived.
victimized or deprived. Yes, that's the right word. In order for this limited resource to be shared sufficiently. That was the time. That was just after World War One. That's what happened. So I guess Hitler played with the emotions of people at a time when resources were very little. Food was less.
Food was less, it was depression, there were no jobs, everything was being rationed.
Yes.
Yeah, those were tough times. It's the privilege that we are living in and we should thank God for that.
Yeah. So we come to the interview. We go back to you now to ask the question. So my first question is, share a little bit about yourself.
So basically, I am a deep thinker and I'm a simple person who likes simple things in life. I'm married to a person who's an IT from Pune, who's a Keralite. I'm a North Indian, and we have built our life together. And over a period of time, we both have realized that simplicity is the better fashion than anything else. For me, life is something where you can really add value to others by empowering them. And I know these are big words, but I do make an effort to empower people. And I want them to see themselves as they should be and they can be in the near future or the eventual future for themselves. So that's about me. Because I got into education, it was not a fluke or a chance. Everybody in my family was in education, so it was a by default choice and path that was chosen for me. And when you are into education, you cannot not be touched by the nobility of it all.
Yes.
So that's me. Simple, but want to empower people and want to do something for others.
So when we say international affairs, what exactly it is all about?
So I will use this cliche statement, the world is a global place. What is happening to the world is now increasingly becoming smaller. But there is a wide divide between the haves and the have-nots for, studying abroad or, doing things which an international office can provide. So international affairs in essence is providing international opportunities to the students, to the faculties. But I wanted to do internationalization beyond that. I wanted to do inclusive internationalization,
Okay.
where people who are underprivileged also get a chance to be globally exposed, to see what the world is. Because I know if you want to study abroad or if you want to go for a trip abroad, you have to have deep pockets. But there are people who do not have deep pockets. Then how do they get that experience? So I have been working towards inclusive internationalization. In fact, that's a term that I have coined,
Oh, okay.
wherein we bring in people from abroad so that they can teach in these classrooms. Wherein we bring, last month we brought teachers from Sri Lanka, and we went to our adopted villages where they taught them, and where they taught the underprivileged students.
Very
And the
interesting.
kind of interaction that happened had so much of emotion, so much of power that it was unbelievable. So that's internationalization for me, when everybody and anybody can be touched.
Wow. So up until now, I used to think that what you do is just ensuring that the students in DSU get exchange programs abroad. But this is a much bigger, a much bigger purpose. And I can now see that why there is so much conviction in you, why you are so passionate about your work. So, how did this come to you? Like, inclusive internationalization. I mean, it sounds like a crazy term.
So, growing up, I had a lot of exposure to foreigners, and culturally, for me, it was a natural part, and I started learning. So, one thing I have learned in life is keep learning and keep unlearning, because there are a lot of things you need to keep unlearning in your life. And then, what I realized that people who wanted to go abroad or students who could afford to go abroad are the ones who really had a lot of money.
Right, right.
I would meet with parents whose students were ready to go abroad for exchange programs, but their parents would call me on the furtive on the side and say, "Ma'am, can you dissuade the student not to go abroad? Because I'll end up spending 5 to 10 lakhs, and that 5 to 10 lakhs has been kept aside for for my daughter's wedding, for his sister's wedding. So can you do that for us?" And I found myself talking to students who I had selected to go abroad, telling them not to go abroad. They should, give it some time, and probably after a few years they should be going. This is where I started realizing that there is a vast divide between haves and the have-nots. But opportunities abroad are so many, because there are so many scholarships available. Students don't know it. Like for right now, nursing students, even though some of them may not have so much of money, but there are providers, there are hospitals in Germany who are ready to fly them in, teach them the language, and give jobs to them which will pay them as much as 2 lakh rupees.
Oh my God, per month.
Yeah, but who will go and tell them?
Oh,
Because today the social media has exploded. Everybody knows everything, but what is the correct information? There has to be some source which gives them the correct information, and that's why inclusivity became a very important driver for my internationalization.
and you managed different disciplines in DSU, right? So you manage nursing, you manage medicine, you manage engineering, MBA, undergrad. What do you do? What do you not do in in education?
So, internationalization, like I said, it has to touch everybody, right? And education is something which can really make your life. A lot of people, they know if they don't want the life they're currently living in, they have to get themselves educated. That's the ticket out.
Yes. Yes.
And there are, when you say about, let's talk about semester exchanges. Not every student can go for a semester exchange, depending upon their disciplines. So a nursing student cannot go for a semester exchange because the nursing council will not allow it.
Oh my God.
So
What's that?
So there are different councils.
Why would they not allow?
Because nursing programs or pharmacy programs or architecture programs, they have regulatory bodies.
Okay.
And they want that the program should be done in the place where the program has been registered.
All right.
It cannot be done in any other country, and the credits cannot be transferred back.
Oh my. Okay.
So every discipline, every program has a different regulatory structure, and we have to cover everyone. So that's why we move across, my team moves across, and I have been doing this in my last organization also.
Where were you working?
I was in Punjab prior to this, and I was working with Lovely Professional University. That was also a huge university, and a lot of opportunities we provided for internationalization.
Yes, Lovely is a very well-known name. Although the name literally doesn't strike as a very serious institution, but I believe it's quite a serious. How many students are there in Anand Sagar University? I mean, our audience should know what size we are talking about.
I think in Dayanand Sagar University, I will not have the correct figures. I think 10,000 students to 12,000 students, and this is not an exact ballpark figure. University gives us a bit of autonomy also to work.
So this 12,000 plus there are about 25,000 students in the other.
So if they need any help, I go across. But proactively, I'm working only for the university. I'm a university employee.
Alright. And 10,000 is a big number. And every discipline, I've seen the facilities that are available to the Dayanand Sagar students, and I have to say it's mind blowing. I mean, the Harohalli campus looks like a palace, literally, that 100 acres. So, I guess you must be feeling very proud of being a very important member of that system.
Yes, I do believe so, because what I believe now here at Sagar University and the founder of the university, the man behind the vision is doing, he's creating history for India.
Wow. Okay.
Because
How? I would like to know that.
see, we had very successful legacy institutions.
Mm-hmm.
There was enough success there, materially also, not to be bothered to go ahead and do something like this, which is painstakingly being done by him, right? From construction to supporting people to making a team. We have a medical college over there as well as a hospital. We treat the people for free.
Oh my God.
We have adopted nearby villages, and we want to work very closely with the communities over there for research. When I say research, understand the problems of the local people over there, understand the diseases of the local people. Because when you move from a mixed population and when you move towards a concentrated population, which is not, I should not use the word infected, which is not diluted by people from all demographics, you get very clear indices to do research on different diseases. And that's how, the different kind of breakthrough inventions come forward. So this is what we are striving for. We are looking at to make ourselves course focused, but also research focused. Immense amount of money is being invested into the university and training the people. We need people from within India, we need people from outside to train them for research, for teaching, for pedagogy. So there is a drive there. There is a dream that we are living. We are just not teaching, we are living the dream of the founder, Dr. Quinton.
I myself am part of DSU, you know that I'm a visiting faculty in the executive MBA, and it's truly an honor to be part of it. I mean, the way the whole thing is managed, at least the EMBA part, I have seen the growth of EMBA from just 12 students to 150 students taken in every trimester. So 3 intakes, and hats off to the management, hats off to my dean, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, so, and I mean, every person that I meet, whether it's the dean of EMBA whom I know very well, or it's you, or it's the person who manages the events, social events, the kind of energy that I see in you guys is amazing. So I think I am diverting totally because I am at a place where I am closely connected, so I have to talk about it, right? We came here to talk to Supriya and about her, the challenges she faced in her life and how those challenges shaped her and made her successful rather than making her give up, right? Because that's the thing that we are exploring through #FemPower. So, Supriya, tell us about what brought you here. How did you manage to juggle between work and life and become successful? What are the factors that helped you to be who you are today? Because the toughest thing in a woman's life is that you are looking for support. You're looking for someone else to give you a permission to do things that you are justifiably entitled to do. So what made this happen?
So family plays a very strong role. When a woman walks the path of success. If your family is not supportive, then it becomes very difficult because you cannot emotionally invest into your profession without the emotional support of the people who are holding your ladder back at home. Of course, there are people who are holding your ladder here, but I got a very well-rounded childhood where we were brought up very properly, we were exposed very properly, and then I got into a marriage with a man who has wholeheartedly supported me for whatever I wanted to do, which was supposed to be quite exploratory and risky because I was a teacher by profession, and when I got married, I decided to move into college, and college meant not doing a 7 to 1 or 7 to 2, college meant doing a 9 to 5. And that was something which everybody would say, why don't you go for a comfortable job, a school job? It's comfortable. But I said to my husband, I don't want to do that. I want to do something more. And then I was given this internationalization. He supported me throughout. So there has always been family support at the back from the house. And coming to my professional places, I have always ended up making teams which have been very strong. That has also been a part of my success. Like I am going to repeat, people who hold your ladder, you should help them also climb. When they see the dream that you are seeing and they walk towards it, that's what makes a success. I know it's sounding very poetic, but you have to emotionally invest in people. And people have to emotionally invest in you.
Beautiful. And that's what women do best. Right? Thanks, Supriya, for your response, and hats off to your family which has supported your growth. I think one of the things that always that keeps coming back in whatever interviews I take is the fact of a woman being successful because they had a great childhood. So, moms out there, I think all you need to do is give your children a great childhood, because if that's missing, life becomes really twisted. And I can vouch for it because I have not had a well-rounded childhood like yours. I would rather say I had a very mixed bag of experiences as a kid. While on one hand I was told that you should become a lawyer, that was the dream given to me. On the other hand, I was told that you should be able to cook and clean and do all of the things. Even at the age of 6, I remember participating in household work, which I never allowed. I never thought my daughter could do. Such tasks I have done from a very young age. But then those were different times. And at times I feel that it was really tough. So I get really jealous of people who say that.
That was a very interesting incident, and it has always stayed with me when I say about rounded. So when they were looking for grooms for me, so this gentleman comes with his father, he's well educated, and they start asking questions from me. So relevant, irrelevant questions. I was a very confident girl. So one question they asked is, "Do you know how to cook?" I said, "Not really, but I can figure out cooking."
Right.
Very nonchalant answer that was from my end. Then they turned around and said, the parents of the gentleman question, say, "Oh, he doesn't know how to pick up a glass of water also." Then my mom intervened. This is all happening with the parents at that. No, but she will learn to pick up a glass of water and she will learn to cook, but he should also learn to cook and pick up his glass.
Wow.
And of course nothing happened over there, but that's the kind of confidence my parents gave me. So, and of course I don't like cooking, although it is very therapeutic, but I can cook. I cook really good food when I want to, but otherwise I'm dependent on a cook or but there are people in my family who can cook really well.
Of course, cooking is a craft, and I enjoy cooking. Of course, one of the reasons I enjoy cooking is that I was appreciated more for my cooking than for the marks I got, which were horrible, by the way. So, but I realize now at this age that it's like reliving my childhood. Whenever I cook, I feel good because I was made to feel good. And so I want to tell the mothers that make your daughters feel good about not just the cooking, which is also important, also about the good things they do at school and in work, which of course I don't need to say to everyone, but this culture is such a mix of times, of different
Can be very
eras.
pseudo at times.
Yes, of different eras, while I say this is a different era, but I see at the same time mothers doing the same thing that I lived as a kid. And maybe even my grandmom might have lived as a kid. So we are living in multiple eras at the same time. That's, I guess, something you also agree, because you interact with students of all caliber, so you would know it better.
What I say to the girls, be self-sufficient. But what I say to the boys also, be self-sufficient. Do not be dependent upon any woman, whether it is a mother or a sister or a wife, for cooking your food. Because today, there's this whole eating out culture, but there is also this requirement that you should eat home cooked food.
Of course.
Because of the huge health epidemic that is happening. So men should be equally, they should equally be adept at cooking. So my husband is a South Indian, and during COVID, he wanted to eat idlis. Before that, we used to eat out idlis and vadas and dosas. And we both didn't know how to make.
Okay.
During COVID, he learned. Painstakingly, he learned how to make idli and how to make sambar. And then he taught me. And then I also learned.
Oh, wow.
So, it can be what I say, that let's not be gender biased towards each other. And I see a lot of difference. In the youngsters, I see a lot of difference in, people. I am seeing a lot of difference, but I am also seeing some, like you're saying, the old belief, the old systems are still existing.
Exactly.
So we are living in mixed times. We will not completely change, but let's hope that women are more empowered.
Exactly. And you know what? So I also learned how to make sambar from my husband, by the way. He's a great cook, so we cook together, or we just delegate to each other. But I guess cooking is something of an art at times, but more than that, it's a necessity. So just like you need to know how to wear your clothes properly,
You need to know how to cook.
how to cook the right food for your family. So nowadays actually cooking is like that to me. Like all the daily activities I do, cooking is part of it. So 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25, whatever it takes, it's important.
That's an important part.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing that. It's an amazing perspective, and thanks for bringing it out. And I guess all this perspective is coming out because of your experience with so many different cultures on a day-to-day basis.
Correct.
Like you are like all over the place. You're seeing the village in the same room as the city, right? With the students around you. So it's an amazing perspective. I love your perspective, Supriya, by the way. So my next question is about why do you think that women fail to reach the top of their career success? What reason would you attribute? Like you are a vice president of international affairs, very fancy title. So, all women dream to do that. Why do you think they fail to?
So there are two very divided categories. One is when you're brought up and when you have got married, the men in your life and the women in your life keep telling you don't need it. You're working just for the sake of it. You can leave whenever you want. So what happens is that the girls, the young women and the women, they are never serious about their career. That's one category of it.
Right.
Because at the back, the father is always telling, the mother is always telling, go do your time pass, go engage yourself. And then you're getting and then there is a brother. Why you have to work? Okay, go ahead, enjoy. And then there is a husband. Okay, do till the time we do not have any children.
Oh my.
And then, of course, I expect you to be here. So the woman is not really oriented to work and oriented to succeed in the career. And then there is another category, which is a woman who wants to do work and who wants to climb. She faces a lot of issues at the workplace because of being a woman. And sometimes she's not allowed to climb because of different reasons, because she's a woman.
So you're talking about the glass ceiling.
Yeah, it's the plexiglass ceiling that it is very difficult to break. It's very difficult to break. You have to work 4 times as much.
Bulletproof glass ceiling.
You have to work 4 times. And you have to be smarter. You have to be emotionally sensitive, and you dare not create a scene because you're a woman.
My God.
Right? So you have to be
So
always
brutal.
in control.
Yeah, so brutal.
Which is too much. Because we women also have to go back and have a life. Right? And I keep saying there's a lot of emotional investment that goes into these things. I mean, talking to people the whole day long, building relations. End of the day, just talking to people, you're spent. Because till the time you're not sincere and you're trying to build a collaboration or a relationship or a university, if you're not sincere, that I don't see that happening. So end of the day, you're emotionally spent. And if you're emotionally or mentally spent, then you're physically also spent. Right?
Yeah.
So if there is no environment, one, you can make your own environment, but some environments can be really discouraging for them.
Toxic.
So that's toxic, discouraging, they're looked down upon. Or you're like a man.
Oh God,
Do
no.
you even really want to take it as a compliment? I have been
No.
told that. You're like a man.
So that means that you're not a woman. So then it's not a woman's success at all.
Yes.
Which is so unfair. You
It
made
is
so
unfair.
much effort as a woman to grow, and now you're being told you're not even a woman. So naturally you're successful.
Yeah. So you are like a man. It's not right.
Not right at all. I disagree.
That's why it's difficult.
And
it's not
you're
easy.
so pretty. You are not at all like a man.
But still they say you're like a man.
Yeah, I mean, when I say pretty, women love to look good. That's one of the things that God has given us, right? And I mean, we are fond of being women. We don't like to be.
Yeah, we don't
Men.
like to be men. We like to be women. We like to be in the image that God has cast us in.
Yes. Yes.
So that's these are the things. I mean, but people still women have broken that ceiling. They have gone ahead. They have gone up. I'm sure for not everyone things might have been difficult, but it's an uphill climb.
So while you were talking, I was making some notes because I didn't want to miss out on asking this. And this is a very serious question. It is about working women having control over their own money. What do you think about it? Do you think that working women have full control over their money, especially to spend it, not to save it? Huh? This is my question.
I have heard of instances that my husband told me once that one of his friends, I can't take the name, he used to have his wife's credit card and debit card.
Okay.
And I was so taken aback. I said, how on earth is she living her life if she's working and she doesn't have control over her money? This is how families are doing. But she was not the only one. I have heard of multiple instances where women who are working and earning are not allowed control over their finances. I think that it's not right. I would never work if I'm not allowed to spend my own money.
Exactly.
And but I think women have to step up on that. It is again another battle that they need to fight. It does not
Yes.
mean that they have to go and spend away all of the money, like pocket money. I mean, I'm sure they can discuss with their partner, their friend. They should be equally spending it.
Exactly.
Or sometimes husband wife I call them partners because it's easier, because when I'm talking to foreigners, although it is not taken well here in the nomenclature here.
Not anymore. I think our viewers will understand.
Yeah. So sometimes they decide that we'll spend one salary, we'll save one salary. But it's okay as long as there is a good and congenial relationship which is going to stay on forever. It is good. But that does not mean that you are saving not in your name. One has to be conscious and smart. If you want to live in the world, you have to be smart. This is something women have to start doing. Why? See, middle class women are not taking control of their finances. While women who are working at a lower level, cooks, maids and all, they have control over their finances.
But that's an unfortunate situation, no? Because their husbands don't work at all.
That is
And they are the breadwinners of the family.
And
We
they
don't
have
talk
complete-
about them, but they are in a very precarious situation because their husbands come home, beat them, take their money, go away to drink, but they don't contribute to the
Not all
family.
stories are so bad. I have had 2-3 very good stories. So I had one 70-year-old lady working for me. She was from Bihar. I used to call her Amma. She used to come at 5 in the morning. She had worked in fields and all. She had a lot of land. Lot of
Okay.
land in Bihar. But still I said, why would you work like this? She said, my son gets drunk and I don't want to live with him. So she
Okay.
came here and we started. And I think some agriculture people, they travel during certain period and they work.
Okay.
And then they take back the money for seeds and all. So
Uh-huh.
then another of my person, house help, her daughter, she got her educated really well.
Okay.
She used to come on a scooty sometimes to wash utensils. And she would say, hello ma'am, good evening, how are you doing?
Okay.
So, but she used to just pitch in for her mother.
Uh-huh.
And my current house help, she takes personal loans.
Okay.
And that's a regular practice she does. She takes personal loans. The last personal loan she took, she built her husband's house.
Okay.
Who left her.
Okay.
Because then after taking the loan, she had to come out to this part of the world to earn and repay. But he could not wait for her. So he took the money, he made the house and he left her.
Ah.
And she's taken another loan now to build her father's house.
Oh
And she's
my.
repaying that.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, you know how it is. I mean, there is a story everywhere.
And that's why we started #FemPower. So don't you think that colleges like DSU, which has outreach to so many people, like these are the future of our country, should have some program about financial management and how to balance for girls and boys alike, so that they both learn to respect each other's income.
I think they have some program going on in the MBA schools, but I'm not aware whether they do not have, but I'm aware that they do have in the business program.
I just asked because that sounds very logical, right? That if we have this problem and we actually acknowledge it, then we do something about it as educationists. So instead of digressing further, let's go to our next question. What advice will you give to women who are listening to this? What would you want to say from your end? Something they want to remember to grow in their lives? What would you want to say?
I just want to say, nobody has a perfect environment. Not everybody is lucky enough to have a perfect environment. And nor all the situations and circumstances and the people in our life are perfect. But you have to make your own situations and circumstances and you have to keep striving ahead. Success will come to you if you are hardworking and honest. So keep striving ahead. There would always be challenges, but the more challenges you have and the more challenges you fight and conquer, the more stronger you become. And keeping calm over it is what is more important to you. Because the more you handle situations calmly, family, kids, work-life balance, your finances, the more you will see that life is not so difficult for you.
All right. Thanks for that. So, what are your future plans?
Because education is what I know. I keep saying education is what I know. and I know education marketing, I know education in and out. I'll keep working in education is what I see, maybe adding more value and expanding my horizons and working on projects. I've done a lot of research projects internationally and nationally. So education is something which works for me and I'll keep doing that. Unless of course God has a different plan.
I think you're doing great in education, and I think God wants you to be here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, with that, I would like to end our conversation. I could go on talking to you because I know that this is only the tip of the iceberg that we have scratched with you, because we've not even started on anecdotes that you could have shared about different people that you've met and you meet on a day-to-day basis. It was lovely talking to you, and good luck to you for everything. Guys, if you're watching this, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, because I want to see you keep coming back, because I'm going to bring you such great people over and over and over. So with that, hashtag FemPower.
Hashtag Empower, and thank you for having me here. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to talk to you always.
Same here, same here. Thank you so much.